A really busy week with both European and domestic midweek football, but let's focus on game week 5. In this video, I'll take a look at my team selection, my transfer plans, and the captain selection for game week 5. Let's have a look. But first, a quick look at my game week 4 score. 74 points in the green arrow. Defense did really well. I had both Porro and Van de Ven delivering, Schär as well. In midfield, really disappointing. Wirtz, Rodgers, Kudus, and Elanga, all of them blanked. But up front, my captain Erling Haaland, he delivered blank from Chris Wood, but Joao Pedro, he got 7 points. So 74 points, a good game week. Hopefully the green arrows will continue. I had a really poor game week 1, but in the last 3 game weeks I picked up green arrows. So let's take a look at the team ahead of game week 5. So this is my team ahead of game week 5. I have some players with tough fixtures. We can see that both Schär, Elanga, Joao Pedro, all grey fixtures. Goalkeeper Sanchez as well. Haaland with a red fixture playing away against Arsenal. I have 2 free transfers and I have 1.7 in the bank. I have the injured Sar on my bench. I'm actually considering to play the bench boost, but I will have to use a couple of transfers before pushing the button. So I will talk about my transfers later, but let's take a quick look at the fixtures. Pedro Porro, Williams in defense. I will have Van de Ven on the bench, the hero from game week 4. So this is one of the reasons why I'm actually considering playing the bench boost. I have Rodon as well. Good fixture for Leeds against Wolves, and I have a playing goalkeeper in Dubravka. So if I make a couple of transfers, this team can be well set up for a bench boost. In midfield, I have Wirtz, Rodgers, Kudus, all decent fixtures. I mentioned Elanga. He may actually not be in my game week 5 team, but let's take a look at that in a minute. Up front, Haaland. So a really tough fixture for Erling Haaland, but he is in really good form at the moment, so hopefully he can deliver against Arsenal. My 2 other forwards are Chris Wood and Joao Pedro. So before discussing the transfers, if you're playing your free hit or wildcard chip this game week, have a look at this video. My best advice would be to actually wait until game week 6. I think game week 6 is a better week for the wildcard, especially because you'll avoid having Man City and Arsenal players playing against each other. They have really good fixtures, Arsenal and Man City coming up, but in game week 5 they're playing against each other. So my advice would be to play your wildcard in game week 6. But let's take a look at the transfers. So as mentioned, if I decide to play my bench boost, I will have to transfer out Sar. He is injured and he will not be ready for game week 5. So selling Sar, bringing in Josh King from Fulham. I think this is a good long-term move. So I have actually 8 decent players up front in midfield and my forwards. So having Josh King in, priced at only 4.5, I think that this makes sense at the moment. He's a starter playing as Fulham's number 10, and he will be easily benched, seeing that he's only priced at 4.5. So Sar to Josh King, but let's see which upgrades I can make with the money I save from this transfer. One of the reasons why I'm considering a downgrade from Sar to Josh King is because I don't really fancy Elanga at the moment. He's not started the last couple of games for Newcastle. They have a lot of competition for their attacking spots, and we've seen that both Barnes and Murphy have started the last couple of games. We know that Anthony Gordon, he will be back soon as well, so there will be even harder for Elanga to start week in, week out for Newcastle at the moment. So selling Elanga to bring in Cole Palmer is an option. Newcastle, they don't have the best fixtures. You can see they play away against Bournemouth, play against Arsenal in game week 6, and then they have Nottingham Forest. So not the best fixtures for Newcastle. We can see that Chelsea, they have a tough game playing against Liverpool in game week 7 as well. But I really fancy Cole Palmer. We know that he was injured, but he played and he scored in game week 4. Cole Palmer is actually starting for Chelsea against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. We can see that both Liverpool and Chelsea, they are putting up their strongest starting 11s for this midweek Champions League fixture. So Joao Pedro and Cole Palmer starting for Chelsea. We can see that for Liverpool as well, they have Alexander Isak starting his first game and Ekitike is on the bench. But I think that this is close to the strongest Liverpool starting 11 that we can get. We You see on the wingbacks for Liverpool, it's kind of interesting. See Robertson start again. Kirkis, he was subbed off in the first half in game week 4, so I think that probably Kirkis will start. Frimpong, another start for him as well, so interesting lineups in the Champions League for both Chelsea and Liverpool. In other news, Nottingham Forest, they are playing this evening as well in the Carabao Cup against Swansea. They are resting most other players, so Gibbs White and Chris Wood and all of the popular defenders, they are rested for Nottingham Forest. So I think that most of the popular FPL assets will start for Nottingham Forest in game week 5 for their good fixture against Burnley. So if I go through with the mentioned transfers, Sar to Josh King and Elanga to Cole Palmer, this will be my team for game week 5. And the bench boost will consist of Dubravka, Josh King, Van de Ven and Rodon. So not a really expensive bench, but I think that there are good players and some good fixtures. So I think that this team is good enough for a game week 5 bench boost. But another thing about this team is that I have no Mo Salah. He's probably the safest option and the best captain option for game week 5, playing at home against Everton. Haaland playing against Arsenal is not that tempting, giving him the captain's armband this game week. There are some question marks about Chris Wood as well, so there is really good news that he is rested for Nottingham Forest tonight. Joe Pedro, he is starting, Cole Palmer is starting, but let's take a look at the captain selection for game week 5. First out, and as mentioned, Haaland, he's been really good recently, but the fixture against Arsenal is probably the toughest this season. So it's not that the fixture just looks bad on paper, but when we take a closer look at the stats, we can see that Arsenal, they have been really impressive so far as well. So they have kept 3 clean sheets, only conceded 1 goal, actually had 0 big chances against them, 12 shots on target conceded, and they have an expected goals conceded of 2.42. So they are best in most of the metrics when we take a look at defensive stats. So even though Haaland has been good, scored 2 goals in game week 4 against Man United, I think that it's a risk captaining Haaland against Arsenal in game week 5. Another captain contender in my team at the moment is Chris Wood. Really good fixture playing against Burnley. You see that Burnley, on the other hand, when we take a look at Arsenal stats, they were one of the best teams, but Burnley, they are definitely one of the worst teams. They have kept 1 clean sheet, but conceded 7 goals, 11 big chances against them, and 17 shots on target. They have an expected goal of 9.37, and this is definitely the worst out of every team so far this season. So there is a bit of a question mark around Chris Wood's minutes. They have some strong options at the moment, so he has played around 60 minutes. So this is ideally not what you want from your captain, but really good fixture. Will probably start his rested tonight against Swansea, and he is on penalty, so I'm leaning towards Chris Wood at the moment, but let's take a look at a couple of other captain options as well. Another really reliable asset so far this season, Joao Pedro. He has been scoring goals and assisting, picking up attacking returns. Playing against Man United, they did not impress us in game week 4 against Man City. We take a look at their stats. They haven't kept any clean sheets so far this season, conceded 7 goals, 10 big chances against them, and 15 shots on target. They have an expected goal conceded of 6.90, so Man United definitely one of the worst defensive teams so far, and I think that Chelsea will do well against them. A bit of a concern when it comes to Joao Pedro is the fact that, as mentioned, he is starting for Chelsea tonight against Bayern Munich, but if he's not injured and if he does well in this fixture, I think that he is a good option for game week 5. So if I decide to sell Sar and bring in Josh King, upgrade Elanga to Cole Palmer, he will be a decent captain option for my team. So I think that if you have Cole Palmer at the moment, he is a big captain punt. It's only selected by 19.5% of the managers at the moment. So ahead of game week 5, he was actually selected by above 50% of the managers. So his injury has made a lot of FPL managers sell him. So take a look at his ownership, only 19.5. So starting tonight, same as with Joao Pedro, but if he does well in the fixture, if nothing happens, I think that he is a really good option ahead of game week 5. Man United, as mentioned, one of the worst defensive teams so far. We can see 16th, 16th, 12th when it comes to shots on target, and 17th for expected goals against them. So Cole Palmer, good captain option. It's really close between Cole Palmer and Chris Wood for me at the moment. So please let me know in the comments down below who will be your captain for game week 5.